Hey guys, Lucas here again. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day. I'm very excited to eat in a couple hours. I'm very anxious. But I do have a new review for you guys today because around this season, October, November, pretty much all through winter, I get a bunch of screeners at my house for the Oscars, and one of the screeners I got was for the Descendants, so I wanted to review that for you guys on this fine Thanksgiving Day. And it stars George Clooney, and it's directed by Payne, who wrote and I directed Sideways. And I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I can't really say if I liked it or not. But I heard a lot of great, glowing things from this movie going in. And it's about a guy named Matt King, played by George Clooney, who lives in Hawaii, and his wife recently is in a permanent coma from a boating accident. So while she's in a coma, he inherits back his kids that he hasn't seen in about 5-8 years, and he has to learn how to recreate these relationships with his kids, find out who they really are, what he's missed, while he learns out secrets about his wife and how he has to deal with that while she's in a coma. So he's very emotionally torn right now. And on top of all that, he has to make a big decision whether he wants to sell this huge piece of land, which will make him a millionaire, but if it's better for the state or not. So he's got to juggle all these things while his wife is in a coma. And I've heard fantastic things about the Descendants, going in. So I had pretty high expectations, even though I didn't really know what to expect, because I usually do not see these type of movies. I think it's only in limited release right now. But I do say I really enjoyed the Descendants, and I think it's a really solid film. What I liked about it is that all the performances by everybody. I know a couple of the side characters is Beau Bridges. He's only in it for a little bit, and I don't know the names of the girls, but the girls in the movie, George Clooney's daughters that he has to, recreate the relationships with, especially the older one, are all great. They are really good. They're very believable. They look like, real kids. They don't look like fancy, rich kids like a lot of Hollywood movies put out nowadays. And the older daughter is really, really attractive, so that always helps too. But they're both really good, but I was really, really impressed with the older daughter. She was actually really good, and I don't know if she'll get any Oscar nods or anything, but I think in the future, if we see more of her, she's going to be a very, very big talent. But George Clooney really carries the movie. He kind of goes through the motions through the whole film. So you see the funny side of him, you see the dark side of him, you see the light side of him, you see the really angry side of him. So he balances these emotions and has to turn the switch on and off again very well. And he's also very believable. Even as George Clooney, it's hard to believe George Clooney is just a regular guy, but they really pull it off well. And he has a really good script to work with here, but he's really good. And I think it's actually maybe George Clooney's best performance I've seen him in. Maybe not his best, but definitely one of his best. And I definitely can see some Oscar nominations from him. I haven't seen the Ides of March, but he might get something for that too, apparently. But I definitely think if the Academy decides to give him a nomination here, then they would be well worth it. But also, the cast has a great script to work with here. What I really liked about the script is that it's funny and dramatic, but doesn't take away from any of the dramatic moments at all. And sometimes it can be, some characters you find to be a little bit annoying at first, but then the script kind of reveals why they're like that, and that's really good. The characters in this are very fully realized and very well developed, and that's also a sign of a good script, is when you can actually learn and care about the characters and learn to grow on them while the movie progresses. And that definitely happened with a couple of characters, because at first you're like, oh, these guys are dicks, but then at the end you're like, oh, okay, I get why. So I really like that. And also, I have to give everything to the script, because also the performances and the script worked very well together to give real-life conversations and very real-life scenes when George Clooney has to, deliver some of the news to his daughters or something. It's like something that would exactly go down, and that made it very, I wouldn't say emotional, but it made it very powerful for me, because I was like, well, if this is something that would happen, I bet it would happen just like this. So it made the film even more believable, and I really admired that, because that's something that's really hard to do, and I think Payne and his co-writers did that very well. The only really problem I have with The Descendants is that it gets slow in the middle. The first 25 minutes of the movie are the best. I think that's the best part of the movie. That's really good. But in the middle, I wouldn't say it slows down, but it doesn't really live up to that, and they don't have much going on. But it's only for 5-10 minutes, so it's not a big problem for me. It's just the point where, okay, you could start picking it up again like you were before. And the other problem is, I think sometimes it has, in the middle also, it has a couple of problems where it goes from the mother storyline to him trying to sell the Hawaii property storyline, but they kind of fixed that at the end where they put a nice balance. But in the middle, they kind of lose sight of one of the storylines, so then they kind of feel like they have to rush it again. But that's just a small complaint. But I really did like The Descendants. I don't think it's one of the best movies of the year, but I do think it's one of George Clooney's best performances, and it was a nice way to spend my Thanksgiving Eve. I'm going to give it a very, very positive 4 stars out of 5. I definitely think if it's not playing in your theater because it's a limited release, definitely pick it out on DVD, and if you do go see it for Thanksgiving or something, I think it would be a good thing to see the family with. It kind of brings the family together type of movie, even though it's not all cheery and happy. But I really like The Descendants, so definitely check it out. I wanted to say thanks you guys for watching. I know I've been kind of inconsistent on my reviews lately. I might try to see The Muppets or just one thing that comes out this weekend. I know I picked like the least popular thing that's come out this week. But I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Eat a bunch of turkey. I know I will. I'm going to be 200 pounds after today because, you know, any holiday where you just eat is fantastic. It's very American of us. So I want to say thanks for watching and see you guys later.